and welcome to the All F's Given podcast.
This is where we're going to talk about all things fresh, fiery, and fucked. I'm your host, Taylor.
And I'm your host, Parker. And we wanted a podcast / community where young couples could come and be able to listen to our stories, relate, laugh, have fun with us, and also open up conversations for you in your relationship. Because the problems that you experience, well, guess what? Everyone experiences them too, and hopefully you get that once you listen to us.
Yep, so get ready.
Because it's happening.
Right now. So, y'all, we have some exciting news. We got engaged.
Yes, we did. Oh, guys, we made it. We made it.
Yep.
Speaking of making it, like, babe, let's just start there, I guess. Like, and then we can get into the rest. So, like, we were on a boat when we got engaged.
Yeah. Well, I don't really think the story started there. I think the story started with it pouring rain in the morning.
Oh, you did not just
I
open
did.
that.
I did. I thought it was really funny, and I also thought Parker he planned the most amazing engagement, and I will just say God definitely backed him with the weather, because the start of the day, it was pouring rain. This trip has been planned for weeks, and Parker was super excited, as was I, but he was stressing balls when we were at the mall.
Yeah, it was not even fair. So basically, what you have to know is you have to put yourself inside my head, because we're at the mall, and it's an outdoor mall. We're running to the store because I told Taylor we were going shopping for a new outfit, because I was not going to be that guy. I was not going to have the engagement happen and then she go, oh, I wasn't wearing the right outfit.
He knows me so well.
Yeah, so I'm not dealing with that. So anyways, we go shopping. And I'm realizing, just like I started this podcast, I was like, hey, we're going to the boat. So my mind is on the boat. Well, the boat's outside. That's a problem when we're in the outside mall and we're worried about Taylor's makeup dripping down her face as we run, trying not to get wet, just over to the store garage.
Yeah. I definitely had my eyes set on that store, but as we were running through the mall, and it's literally like pouring down rain, we run into this other store, ask if they have umbrellas. They don't have umbrellas, so we took paper bags, and we're running across the mall with little paper bags over our head, laughing our asses off. But then we get to garage, and we start shopping, and all I see is Parker huffing and puffing on his phone, stressing balls, checking the weather app, and I'm like, what is going on in Parker's head? Why is he so stressed about the rain? Like, it's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I told you, I was like, everything's a surprise today, so I can't even tell you why I'm stressed. All you need to know is that I just need to go for a walk. So I went for a walk.
In the rain.
No, I went for a walk around garage.
Oh, that's right. You didn't leave the store.
Yeah, I wasn't about to go out in the rain and ruin my hair.
I was
Are
just
you
focused
kidding
on
me?
fashion. I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't worried about you.
Yeah. So anyways, there was a little debacle because it was raining in the morning, and thankfully, through a few more surprises, which we'll get to later, the weather started to change. But that being said, yes, I was stressed out that morning, and
So step
it was not
one-
a good start, at least.
It was fun for me. But step one was pouring down rain at the outdoor mall, makeup running down my face, but not very bad. I was able to fix it up, finding the perfect outfit, and then us leaving. I did not know the next place we were going, and Parker ended up driving for a while. We are in Newport, and we stop across the street from a boat harbor. And I'm like, oh, what are we doing? We must be getting on a boat.
Nope.
No.
We're going to get a tattoo.
Yes. So I had this old crusty, dusty tattoo on my finger since I was 15, 16, whatever. 16 years old. I'll go with that. And Parker hated it. And he took me to a tattoo parlor to get it fixed up.
Because in my head, I'm like, hey, no, I am not putting this gorgeous-ass ring on this hand, as the other hand has a makeshift, hopefully to be determined as a cross.
Yeah.
No, we're going to solidify that up before I solidify up us.
Yeah. Yeah, the other hand ring finger has to match the energy of the left hand ring finger. What?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I totally forgot what happened in the tattoo parlor. Oh my goodness, guys.
Yeah.
So
Let me just say I didn't eat breakfast, okay?
she didn't eat breakfast,
And
but also
I have a phobia of needles.
there we go. There it
Yeah.
is. And I knew this, so I wasn't going to tell her we were getting a tattoo. And I thought, it's a little finger tattoo. Like, come on. Like, we're not talking about a lot of pain. I've gotten a tattoo on my neck. I've gotten a full half sleeve on my arm. Like, I know the pain. So I was like, it should be fine. No, it was not.
No, I ended up being like, okay, like I pass out often around needles. I'm pretty like used to it. But I had that feeling in my stomach again. So I like sit back and I start doing my fire breathing and I'm like, I will not pass out. Lord help me, freak. I'm passing out. I'm dropping and
Yep. So then I could
I don't
tell all
remember
the
anything
signs.
else.
Yep. I knew. Because this has happened before. And basically.
I seize when I pass out. Like I
yes,
mean
we're getting to that in the story.
Oh yes.
But thank you for giving away the good part. But that being said, as far as passing out, yes, the girl doesn't know what the hell's going on in the sense of the tattoo girl looks at me and's like, what is going on? Because you say you need a break and you pull your chair back. And I instantly see your hands drop, which tells me, oh, yep, she's going into pass out mode. Now, yes, as Taylor explained, when she passes out, she doesn't just stop there. She keeps going. So about 10 seconds later, I have her and I pulled her away and I wrapped my leg around her legs and then I wrap my arms around her because I know what's coming next. And I just tell the tattoo parlor, like, hey, she's just passed out. I'm just making sure she's all good. And I tuck her head into my chest because, next thing you know, the seizing starts happening and she starts trying to just flail everywhere. But thankfully, no one got to see that because your boy over here knew what to do. So, yes, we secured that package. And then you were a champ, though.
Yeah.
Then you finished the tattoo.
I got out of seizing. I woke back to the tattoo lady was so sweet. She got me, Dr. Pepper.
Yep.
And which Parker said I needed, and he was right because my low blood sugar levels. And I sipped on some Dr. Pepper, got the rest of my tattoo taken care of, and now we're balling. And after that,
now at this point,
yes,
the boat's coming.
Yes.
So thank you for sticking around for the last 6 minutes because now we're getting to the boat part. And the boat part, we get there and we've had quite the hectic morning already. And I'm like, oh, finally, like we're getting to the spot that I want to propose. And that was what I had envisioned. It's like a 2-seater in the front of the boat and the crew's super nice. They're a young couple. So I just told them, hey, like, can you just let me know where a good photo place is? Because they already knew what my plan was, but I obviously couldn't give that away. So we end up getting on the boat. They're a super nice couple. We end up getting out there. What were you thinking when we were just sitting on the boat, just going out? I mean, I thought you thought it was just like a fun date.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, this is such a cute outdoor date. Like, Parker's so creative. I love how he knows how much I love the ocean and being on the water. And also I was thinking, thank the Lord, the sun came out because it was nice and sunny. It was warm. I was wearing a really cute dress and a jean jacket. I felt good. I knew I looked good. I was like, what a great date. I am so like hyped. Like this is a great opportunity to have quality time and have some nice conversations. And
then we get to the point where the girl comes over and she had gestured. She was like, hey, we should take photos. And she kept pressing for photos. And I was like waiting because I'm like, no, that's not the right spot. No, that's not the right spot. And you're like, why is this chick pressing for photos?
Yeah,
so
I was like, why is this lady like wanting to take our photos so bad? Like, is her business tanking? What the heck is going on?
And no, she's just trying to help me out. So then all of a sudden we finally get to a spot where it's calm. I'm not worried about falling off the boat, guys. I have this weird nightmare in my head that like I'm gonna get to the spot and next thing you know, I'm gonna drop the ring in the ocean or something because I've done that with other rings. And I've lost jewelry in the ocean before. So I was like, oh no, like I can't lose this. So we finally get to the spot and she holds the phone open and obviously she's recording. And then I told Taylor, I was like, hey, like I know that you've waited a long time and I've always wanted to give this to you. And I mean, at that point, I was getting into the explanation before I had ever even gotten on one knee yet. Like, take us through that.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was like. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm stressed just being like, I know she's gonna say yes, but
Yeah.
I still have to be the one to pull this off and say it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I realized what was happening when you turned towards me. Because I'm like, Parker doesn't really ever turn towards me during photos.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just saw it in your eyes. I was like, he is like so excited and so terrified all at the same time. I was like, oh my gosh, like this man loves me. And then I was just like very present and just listening to everything you were saying and
Mhm.
how sweet and genuine you were about how much you love me and how special I am. I felt very unique. Like I felt very individually seen. You prepped it so nice. And then he got on a knee. I didn't even see the ring because for some reason I was just so swept in the moment. I didn't really like look at the ring when you opened the box.
Oh yeah.
I was still like looking at your eyes.
Yeah.
And then Parker stood up and he put the ring on. And then I looked at the ring and then I was like, oh my goodness, like what a beautiful ring. Like was not expecting anything close to the ring that you gave me, but I just felt so special. I literally felt like the luckiest girl in the whole wide world. And then I said it, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, like you're my fiance.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you're my fiance. And then I started crying. Waterworks came.
And then goes the phone calls and all the rest. And
Yeah.
that was a really cool moment for us. I mean, we have been talking about that for a long time, and I knew that it was my moment. So it was like, okay, like I want to make it special. I want to be proud of that moment.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, after that, we ended up going to LA, staying and having dinner out in LA and staying in a nice Airbnb in Malibu, which was super, super fun. And from there, yeah, now we're engaged. So
yeah.
hell yes. And if you didn't know
Hell
already,
yes.
she did say yes. So yes,
I
she's
did.
off the market. Thank
I
goodness.
am.
I have got a fiance.
He's off the market.
Yes.
I am so lucky.
And so we're on the high of this huge engagement, and we post about it, and everyone's like, congratulations, congratulations.
Yeah.
And so we're on this big, big high.
Yeah.
Big high. And then reality hits, and we get back into the flow of like, oh shit, like we got to work out, we got to work, like we can't just stay in La La Land, like
Yeah.
this isn't gonna happen this way, like we've got to kind of get back into the flow.
Yeah. I was
and then-
actually, I was sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
I was really shocked at like how big of a change getting engaged felt. Like for some reason in my head, I always thought like the big feeling change, the big shift or whatever happens like when you get married.
Mhm.
There was a huge shift that happened when we got engaged. Like so much like emotions, like it
Yeah.
just changed and like our relationship took a different form, a different entity. We rose into like having different expectations on ourselves like with these new titles. I definitely felt that like, oh my gosh, like I'm a fiance, you're marrying me, I am practicing to be wifey. And
I think it's like
Yeah.
when you're in a relationship and you're dating and you're like boyfriend, girlfriend, like depending on your relationship, but like you talk about these things. Like you talk about like what would you want in a marriage? What would you want in kids? How would you want to deal with finances if it was a marriage? Like if you don't have these questions before, like then I'm like, what are you guys necessarily talking about the entire relationship? But like at the same time, like once you get engaged, all of a sudden those conversations now when you have them, they're not theory. They're not like fantasy. It's like, oh wow, like no, this is actually going to be a reality at some point. So like there's more weight to the conversation, I feel like. And yeah, so in that like we had kind of gotten back into the flow of things, and things were just different. And so there was a lot of adjusting, and it didn't all come that easy at all either. Like this only happened like, I mean, what, 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, something like that.
yeah, something like that.
And in that, that brought us to like Easter morning, which was actually the next weekend after our engagement. And Easter morning was not our highlight reel, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that was
No.
a rough moment.
Yeah.
I definitely think getting too comfortable in your relationship, getting too comfortable with yourself and your expectations on yourself, but also like getting too comfortable with your significant other, like the
Yeah.
way I feel like I got way too comfortable with Parker in the new season of being engaged. That definitely allowed for a lot of new highs, like
Mhm.
the way we have sex or the way that we communicate or just like the way that we laugh and are
Yeah.
weird and like goofy with each other. Like, yeah, that definitely changed for the good.
Mhm.
But I got really lazy in the way that I was communicating to Parker. And Parker got pretty lazy in the way that he was communicative with me as
Yeah.
well. And that led to a lot of miscommunications, which led to
Led to us just fighting like fucking dicks. Like,
Yeah, it
we
was a
were
gnarly
just
one.
assholes to each other.
Yeah.
It was annoying. Like, we woke up that morning and, like, I remember it was like we had to go to my parents to go have Easter brunch. Like, I mean, shit. Like, we only had like 30 minutes to get ready, and in that
Yeah.
30 minutes, we managed to fuck everything up. And
Yeah.
it was like just waking up, and I don't even remember what we were fighting about, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, me
Like, I've
neither.
been sitting here this entire time trying to figure it out, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, that's how stupid it was. Like, it was
It
such
definitely
a stupid
started
conversation.
with me getting ready and doing my makeup
Oh.
and putting on my outfit to go out. Please keep in mind it was
Ah.
raining and I was wearing jeans and a hoodie. Mind you, I was wearing Parker's favorite jeans because they make my booty look fire. And Parker did not like this hoodie I was wearing, and he
Oh, guys, let's just say this. Like, I don't know exactly what side of the bed I woke up on really that morning.
he didn't have his coffee. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah. No, but like seriously, Kate, this hoodie, you got to get a little bit of back context. This hoodie was like, I hate this hoodie. Like, every time I saw this hoodie on Taylor, like, I was just like, it was one of those things that like you just didn't like, but you never said anything.
Yeah, I didn't know you
And
didn't like the hoodie.
so, like,
There's
Taylor had
nothing
no
wrong with the
idea.
hoodie.
There's very many things wrong with that hoodie, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I didn't communicate this to you, and then all of a sudden we were in one of those mornings where we're not really talking to each other.
Yeah.
We're just kind of getting ready, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to usually be in that long, and in that I end up starting to like poke the bear. That's what I end up doing. So, anyways, she gets ready, and this hoodie is like, it's just not it. So I look at her and I go, oh, you're gonna wear that to like go to Easter brunch with my family and then to church afterwards? Like, you look like a high schooler.
Yeah.
And that was obviously not the right thing to say, guys. And this is what she's
No.
talking about when you get too comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
not
was sitting
very
there and I
smart.
was like, that I feel like that would be a very like common way of letting your girlfriend know that she might not be wearing the right thing. I don't know, but just like the way that he's been treating me since getting engaged, she's been giving me like such princess treatment. But the common denominator that we both agree to at the end of that little squeeble, I would like to say that we had a rough patch, we talked it out, we hashed it out, and
Oh,
then
yes.
we came to a common conclusion. We brought the peace back into our dynamic. We both left feeling heard and validated and loved, which is what we strive for at the end of every conflict, is making sure we both exit that conflict feeling validated, loved, and just genuinely cared for.
Mhm. But it was one of those fights, guys. Like, let's just give you some actual context because we do talk about the fucked up shit on this podcast. And yes, there was fuck yous exchanged, and it was literally just a stupid word fight at that point. Like, from my poke led to Taylor then reacting, going like, why are you such an asshole? And then next thing you know, I'm being like, well, you're a bitch. And like, it's just this back and forth, and it keeps escalating, and that's just kind of what happens with us sometimes when we are in those conflicts and we're not seeing eye to eye on things, and it's just like not making sense to either of us because like we both don't want to be in the fight, but at the same time, like, you're like, bitch, how dare you say that shit to me? Are you kidding me right now? Okay, boom, watch this. And then
Yeah.
you're like, well, now what? Huh? What are you going to do now?
Yeah, it's
And
literally like an
so it's a
ego
standoff.
standoff.
Yeah, it's 100% a
yes.
standoff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're sitting there, and like, next thing you know, it's like Taylor wants to be in the other room. I'm like sitting there on the couch. It's like, we're just like, what the fuck happened? Like,
And then we
I'm
feel
feeling
guilty.
like shit because we missed my family's thing completely. Like, and we were just about to be like, wow, we got engaged, guys.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity to go to brunch literally the next weekend, we fucked it up.
Yeah.
So like, here's kind of the thing, like what Taylor was saying, like, yes, we got to a place of validating each other, and there was the moment where like Taylor and I looked at each other and we're just like, dude, like, what are we doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have literally screwed up family plans. We've screwed up our own plans. Like,
Mm-hmm.
over what? Like, I should have just been nicer and said, hey, I don't want you wearing that hoodie.
Mhm.
And honestly, can we just throw that hoodie out? Which is what we ended up doing
Mhm.
anyways.
Yeah.
And then, like, you could have received that a lot better.
Yeah.
And also, I could have been like, hey, maybe I needed a little more love. Or you could have been like, hey, you're kind of being a dick, but I don't want to get, like, super fiery and be like, fuck you, you asshole.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of sum that fight up, like, I want you guys all to know that, like, it's not just sunshine and rainbows. Like, we had a huge high,
Yeah.
and then we had Easter morning,
Yeah.
literally the week later. And here was the craziest piece about that fight that I want everyone to hear, because, like, my feelings didn't change about you. It's not like I was like, oh, this is who Taylor is. Like, and was she an asshole? Yeah, like, you kind of were. And, like, was I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, I was a freaking asshole. So, like, but in that, my feelings never changed towards you. It never was like, oh, like, I don't want you. Like, it was like, no, if anything, at the end of the fight, I actually felt closer to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the goal at the end of the day, because, like, if I don't feel that closeness after
Mhm.
a fight,
Mm-hmm.
then we just start building resentment, which we've done before.
Mhm.
So we've learned a lot from things in our past, but also at the same time, like, even current day doesn't take out all our problems today either.
Yeah.
And that fight right there actually helped us in our communication.
Mhm.
It made it easier for us because we've been through huge highs, like the engagement, all the way down to, like, screwing up an Easter morning with the family, like, to then be in a spot where we've communicated very well over since that happened, like, this last week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've gotten better at communicating back and forth and knowing how to be able to love on each other better because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of brought us to, like, where we are right now, where I'm like, we're making shifts to be able to do and go chase the better version of who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm figuring out ways to, like, support you in that.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, are you finding out ways to support me? Like, what's your take on this?
Yeah, no, I just think that our communication is something that's really, like, grown the most since we've gotten engaged. I think that our fight on Easter morning was just getting lazy with our communication, because I feel like when you get lazy with communication, the chances of disrespecting your partner is just, like, 10 times higher. It's like you're setting yourself up to fail. Because I really do think respect fundamentally is one of the most important aspects in a dynamic when building a marriage, because, you know, I'm called every day to love my husband, love, you know, my fiance, respect my fiance. Men really need to have that sense of being respected the same way us women have that feeling to need emotional validation and to feel emotionally safe and protected, to feel whatever we're feeling and be able to freely express that and not be wrong with what we're feeling. A lot of the times we're wrong with how we express those feelings.
Oh, yeah, I definitely screw that piece up where I'm like, oh, I'm feeling like garbage, so here's a dig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we also have been, like, partaking in, like, things that help our communication a lot too. Like, we recently got into pickleball.
Oh.
We are so on fire with pickleball. Literally since we've gotten engaged, we just dove into pickleball.
You just wait. When we win a tournament and we post it on IG, I'm going to reference this podcast right here saying that we are going to win a tournament.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen in the next 2 months.
Yeah.
And also, to add to what you're saying, because I think what you're on right now is very valuable, which is our routines were shit that entire week after we got engaged.
Yeah.
Like,
We got lazy.
We cuddled. We ate ice cream all the time.
Yeah.
We never were on our meal prep. We never eating really well. We weren't even working out very well. Like, we had gotten so comfortable, guys, that, like, we literally just became this little mush ball that just like fell asleep on the couch every night.
Yeah.
So like it just did not work. And to your point, like now that we have gotten out of that and we're back into like, hey, like finding new flows and finding like, I think your own individual frequency, but then our frequency and what keeps
Mhm.
us running at a smooth rate.
Mhm.
Like our routines look dramatically different now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're up and you're finding your own time to wake up and also giving yourself like time to be able to sleep, not just like run off 3 hours of sleep again
Yeah.
or overwork yourself.
Yeah. And I just think about it like it's very easy to say like, "Oh, your partner's your teammate." It's a very like overly used statement like your wife is your teammate or your husband is your teammate. You know, when you get married, you're picking your teammate for life. You hear it all the time. But really when you genuinely like move in ways that are like in full belief that your partner is your teammate in the game of life, and also picking up pickleball when we did, like I really started looking at Parker as like, okay, like this is my teammate for life. There's a lot of things that I love about him, and there's also a lot of things where I'm like, dang, like that was a shit shot, Parker. Or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
on the pickleball carts, like,
What a net.
babe, like, yeah, what a net. Like, come on. Like, you're really like, babe, you're holding us down. Like, come on, like, get out of
Yeah.
your head, pick it up. Like,
Yep.
and I'm learning ways of like communicating to Parker, like, how to get out of his head on the pickleball courts. But I started applying that in real life too, where like when I see that he's in his head or, you know,
Mhm.
I see that he's like unintentionally hurting my feelings because he's not thinking about me. He doesn't need to think about me all the time.
Yeah, I do the
But
same thing. Yeah. I agree.
I have the patience like the same way I do in pickleball, in sports with my teammate being like, hey, I didn't really like that very much. Like that doesn't work with me. That's not how like I flow. This isn't just how I'm gonna like accept things in the best way. So I would actually and here's the thing. You cannot give a critique if you can't give a correction. I really like that.
Ooh, I like that.
If you're gonna critique your partner on something like, I don't like when you do this, then you need to give a correction. You need to be like, I would prefer this, this, and this.
Oh shit, that's new.
Because
I
if
like this.
if you're thinking about what you don't want to stay in that frequency. You want to transfer over into a frequency of what you're
Mhm.
wanting, what you're desiring, and to properly communicate that to your partner, don't just like tell them what you don't want. Like help them out, learning you, like right? Like you're always learning each other when you're in a relationship.
Mhm.
It's like, hey, like pointers on like my book, my blueprint. Here's my blueprint. Like
Yeah.
you're doing this. I actually work better this way. Like, does that make sense? Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Apply it, apply. Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, I completely agree. I
Mhm.
completely agree. And that's kind of like where we're at now.
Yeah.
Like we've gotten into a place where we're really starting to find our flows and
Mm-hmm.
we got over the hurdles of just like getting comfortable and then
Mm-hmm.
now we're back in the flow again and I'm sure you guys will hear other podcasts where we're not and we're probably sitting here like, guys, Taylor's an ass to this today or this week, I don't know. Or Taylor's over here like, bro, I can't. I need Parker to like just get out of the podcast room. So
Well, ladies, as a woman, it is hard living with a man. It is hard building a life with the opposite gender. They're, you know, like we're just so different. And let alone genders. Everybody is their own individual. It's just, it's hard like picking like one singular person and being like, hey, you are my person. We are doing life together forever. Let's go. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but that's why we need community. Like Parker and I started this podcast because we really like feel and believe like, gosh, like I don't think life would have been so hard for the like 2.5 years. Like our lows wouldn't have been so low if we had a community
Mhm.
that we could have like leaned on. And also we wouldn't have felt so alienated and alone in our low moments. Like it's so easy to beat yourself up and feel like you're the only couple that fights the way that you fight or
Yep.
does whatever, but you're not. Like everybody else is in their pits too.
Yeah, and I think that being able to have this support system and also just being able to allow everyone to realize that, yeah, there is things that you're going to come into in your relationship. And that just kind of is what it is. Like, and the better that you guys can work as a team versus work against each other, I think it brings more validity. And it's not so scary to be in a relationship. I get that the world's like, oh, hookup culture, or, oh, we need this. Oh, it's because everyone's scared. And in that, I feel like this can be a safe place too, where you don't have to be scared. And you can get into conversations that you normally wouldn't. And also at the same time, you like because you love despite. And this is us being able to demonstrate the true love that we have in all forms of it. The like, the love, the good, the bad, the light, the dark. So
the fucked,
exactly.
the fiery, the fresh.
And speaking of that, that is going to be a wrap for this podcast. So make sure that you follow us here on Instagram. That's going to be at Friends to Fiance. And you will also be able to follow our personal accounts. That's going to be mine, lifecoach_Parker, as well as...
I'll just drop my handle. I really can't remember it off the top of my head.
All right, and go ahead and follow Taylor Duzel on Instagram.
I think it's.
It's Taylor Duzel. That's exactly what it is. So, guys, we'd love to see more of you guys. You can always DM us and let us know any questions, comments, things you like to talk about or like us to talk about, and just more. So know that you can reach us at any time, and that's going to be a wrap.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
We'll
we
see
smashed
you.
it.
Yes, sir.
Catch y'all on the flip side.
See ya.
Woo!